Hello, good morning. Welcome to my first vlog, and I'm going to take you through my day. So first I brush my hair. That's the very first thing I do. Then I wash my face. I have a facial cleanser, Cetaphil, Good Molecules, discoloration serum, sun balm for sunscreen protection, and then I have CeraVe moisturizing cream as my final product. So I just do that first thing in the morning so that I don't forget to do it, and all done. On my way up to do my makeup, I ran into my cat Pumpkin. He's so chubby and soft, and I love him. Hi friends, welcome to my channel, and I hope you're having an amazing day. I definitely am, except the sun is like directly in my eyes, and as soon as I sat back down here, it's like, woo! But hi, I'm just gonna roll with it. This is the first time I've ever talked on camera before, so like, excuse anything that happens here. It's completely unscripted, and yeah, I'm just gonna like totally just do my thing, and I don't know. My life is not very exciting, but I thought it'd be fun to just share it with y'all. So it is about roughly 9:30 in the morning, and I set my schedule up so that I don't have to come in super early. I really don't do 8 a.m. so I'm always late. I don't have a class till 3 p.m. today, and I have a few things I have to do on my agenda today. I have to paint. I have to get some things ready for an art show that I got invited to do, which is actually kind of crazy because I've never been invited to do an art show before. So we're gonna do that today, and the art show itself is tomorrow, so I'll probably have to hop on here and record that as well. First I have to print out some different advertising, and then I have to do I have a couple other little things. I have a table, I have just some different, I have price tags, I have things I have to gather. Yeah, so I have a few things on my agenda today, and I like my mornings being free, but I have a class from 6 to 9 p.m. So I talked to my teacher, and he actually let me do the class from 4:30 to 7:30 instead of 6 to 9. So that was like a huge blessing, but normally I would be going in at 6 and then I would come back home not till like 10 o'clock because I commute and because it's a 30-minute drive. So definitely without traffic it's 30 minutes, so it's definitely quite the hike. So yeah, there's a couple different things about my day and just like life right now. I am a junior in college, and I'm an art student, and I also am a Christian, and I just want to share God's goodness with you guys and talk about his faithfulness in my life and the ways that he just daily provides everything that I need. So I'm about to show you guys just those two worlds colliding and coming together, and just showing you guys things that I just like to do throughout my day. So all right, now let's get started with our day. So the next thing I like to do is I start my day off reading the Bible. It doesn't happen every single day, but today I was able to do that and get some tea. I also got to cut myself some apples with peanut butter, and I just delved right into 1 Samuel, which is the book that I'm studying right now. It's been such a good read so far, and I've really gotten a lot out of it, and I'll get to share that a little bit later in the car. The next thing I'll do is I'll just pray a prayer to God and thank him for what I learned, and just ask that I would be able to take it into my daily life. Sometimes I'll do this step in the beginning, but this time I did it at the end. Of course, I got peanut butter on my sweatshirt. The next thing that I did was I worked on pricing out the prices for my first art show, just used a bunch of stickies and just tried to come up with the best prices that I could starting out. The next thing I did was, with limited time and budget, I printed out a little just info page for my little station and just did the best I could. So I put it on some masonite board that I had left over and propped it up on this little mini easel. So cute! I didn't really leave a lot of time to have a real full meal, so instead I just grabbed a Fairlife nutrition drink, 30 grams of protein. We're just gonna roll here. So I'm leaving a little bit early to go to school. I have a friend that I wanted to meet up with for coffee, so we're gonna, coffee. My coffee is like a vanilla, like frappuccino. Like I do not really like a lot of coffee. Yeah, coffee just does not sit right with me, so I'm gonna get something else. We'll see. Yeah, my class starts at 3. I'm meeting my friend around like 2 o'clock. So we're gonna hang out, and she has maybe like a half hour, so we're just gonna hang out for a very short period of time. Sorry if this sounds really bumpy, by the way, because this is like in my car, so it's just gonna be might be a little bumpy. So you are completely on the ride with me. My channel, if you have stuck around for a really long time, which you may or may not have, this channel is pretty small. It used to be really big. It still has like 25k subscribers. I'm not really paying attention anymore. It was all because of like lots of cartoon related things. I just was like at a different place in my life, and also just like, I don't know, like I wasn't feeling replenished after watching a lot of TV. Middle school wasn't too bad. But then high school hit, so it definitely got a little harder to make things. Now that I'm in a different place in my life, I'm a junior in college now, I've just really learned a lot of things about just like what I want to spend my time doing. And yeah, like I'm a new person, and this channel now is going to be Christian advice, even not just for Christians, but just like life advice. Like, how do I handle like hard situations? Like what does that look like to lament, to mourn in a positive way? What does it look like to have confidence, and confidence as an artist too, not just in life? Just lots of different questions, and I would love to do videos about that, unpack those things. I really want to just encourage you and just share with you things that God has been teaching me and things that God's been revealing to me. And speaking of that, today I read 2 Samuel chapter 1, and I read verses 1 to 12, and I learned so much, and I wanted to share some of that with you guys. So in 1 Samuel, I've been reading about this person named Elkanah, and this sounds a little weird. He had 2 wives, which is crazy. He had one named Hannah and one named Hilkiah. And the Bible does not condone polygamy. It actually shows the consequences of that. It's almost like with, I don't know how to say this without getting beeped. Polygamy was really common in the Bible like that. So basically polygamy was like the different sins and the different lusts and passions of our flesh today. And they had those back then too, but like polygamy was something that was in common. There's so many consequences that always come from these things, and so that's how God teaches things, is that He loves us and He wants the best for us because He created us. So He knows our hearts, He knows our feelings, He knows what's good for us. And so all throughout humanity, we have rejected Him, we have turned our own way, we've sought to think that we know what is good. And so in that culture it was polygamy, and long story short, God loves us and He knows things are going to hurt us. So what happened in this case, the consequence of this specific sin was that Hannah and the other wife had a rivalry. It was just like hard. Like Hannah, she could not conceive children, and it was just weighing very heavily on her heart. And then the other wife, she had an abundance of children, and this was hard for Hannah. And I'm I'm sure it was hard because, this woman, she's just making fun of Hannah. She's kind of tormenting Hannah and just getting up in her face about like, hey, you don't have this, but I do. It's just so hard. Like, I can't even imagine how that would have been. The reason I say all this is just the way that Hannah responds in 2 Samuel is very cool. Like, she's not just like, okay, put on a happy face. Like, she comes to the Lord in her sadness and she weeps and she mourns. And even though Elkanah, her husband, he provides for her more than he provides for his other wife because he loves her so much, and still she can't really enjoy what has been given to her because there's something that's weighing on her heart, and it's hard. Hannah, she is honestly grieving before the Lord, and she's not grieving from a place of not trusting God, because then we see later that this next child, like, she will dedicate him to the Lord all the days of her life. Like, the Lord will be his portion, and she just like cries to the Lord, like, Lord, you are my portion, like, you are my deliverer. She calls him Lord of armies, like, he will defend me. And so in those moments where like things are hard, it's like the Lord had purpose, and it actually she found herself being drawn closer to the Lord in those moments. And so it just reminds us to draw near to the Lord, because his character is good, he loves us, and he wants the best for us. And it might not look like the best for us. It says in the text that the Lord closed her womb. So it was like the Lord's purpose for her not to have children. And so that just shows that, and it's hard because, oftentimes we can say, God, why would you do this to me? And Hannah does react that way. But she still puts her trust in the Lord. She still says, but you are good. And he does this to actually deepen her faith in him, to deepen her trust in him, because he has a purpose in everything. This happened, and God uses all of it. Yeah, it reminds me in hard moments, like in life, cry out to him. He listens, he hears, and he speaks through his word. Like, even 2 Samuel, I was not really looking to talk about 2 Samuel. I started reading it, and it spoke volumes to me. So it just shows that, like, just anywhere in the Bible that you turn, like, there is a sweet story of redemption, of the Lord meeting us where we are. It points back to later on, hundreds of years later, God fulfills his promises to us of defeating sin in our lives and death that we deserve on a cross. So we're all in a position where we're broken. We can't be perfect. To be in a fulfilling, intimate relationship with our Creator, we have to be perfect like him, which is completely impossible. Though Hannah is just like weeping, like, God meets her in that place. Like, God meets us in our imperfections, and he did that on the cross through Jesus. Like, that's what's important about Jesus, is that he demonstrated God's love for us, that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. He died in our place. So that we could have an intimate relationship with him. And so me praying this morning, me reading my Bible, it's a privilege. Not everyone in the whole world can do that. That's why I pray that other people in other countries would have opportunities, because it's truly a blessing that we get to be a part of God's kingdom through trusting in Jesus. And Isaiah says that all of our good works are like filthy rags, and so it shows that we could be like the best person, quote unquote, but nothing, like not even our best works are like filthy rags to God. And so it just shows that, like, we can't do it on our own. We just need to surrender our lives to him and say, hey, you love me, I'm sinful, and just confess that we are sinful before him. And the world is searching for something, and they're yearning for something, but they don't know where to turn. And so, like, a lot of us in the world, I know where to turn to, but a lot of people, they don't turn to God, they turn to other things, and then those things things seem good in the moment, but they do not satisfy. Which is just like Eve in the garden. Like, she was tempted by this fruit, and she was tempted to disobey God, and it seemed good, it seemed pleasing to her, and she fell into that temptation, and then she was left just like unsatisfied. And so, friends, the Lord is your satisfaction. Like, we were made for him. And I'm realizing that as I get older, and just like God's just teaching me new things. Thank you, 1 Samuel, for teaching me some of that again. Every day I need to remember, like, oh, I'm not trying to please anyone. It's the best thing that could happen, because now my security is in Him. That's a long rant, but hopefully that was encouraging to you, and I just hope that you just remember, like, God loves you so much, and He has a plan for your life, and He wants to be in a relationship with you, and the only way that we can be in a relationship with Him is through accepting His Son. So it's truly where good life is found, and just, taste and see that the Lord is good, and may His mercies endure forever. Okay guys, this is super aesthetic. So I don't have any quarters, and I just don't want to get ticketed. So I'm only gonna be here for a half hour, and I'm just gonna leave this here, and I'm just gonna tell them that I'm broke, and that I really appreciate. They don't ticket me, so let's go. Hopefully I don't get ticketed. Yay. Got my venti water because I feel a little more bougie by having water in this cup, you know what I mean? I realized I was too broke to get a drink, so I was gonna just, yep. So before going off to my art history class, I started with a red underpainting in acrylic to have those pops of red peeking through. Then after my art history class, I started into the real painting back in the studio with oil, and I didn't get to record the full process because the picture reference I was using was on my phone, so I got a few little snippets. I painted a pumpkin patch that I went to a couple weeks ago, so perfect for fall. Finally, at 7:30, I wiped all my brushes off with turpentine I use toilet paper just because it's better for the brushes, and just cleaned everything up. Okay, so it's been a long day of painting, and I haven't had anything to eat yet, so I'm going to go into Chick-fil-A, get some food, and say hi to some of my friends while they're doing some leadership training that I have not been able to make it to because of my painting classes. But hey, I'm gonna pop in, say hi, and yeah. That was embarrassing.
Wake up and not intellectually believe anymore is the very idea that I'm seeing myself as holding on to God instead of God's the one holding on to me. Right. And at the same time, I read this testimony from like the 1800s of this man who became a Christian, fervent in his 18 to 22 years, learned how to read so he could read the Bible, and then progresses to owning this like worldwide bookstore and apostatizes, like basically seemingly leaves the faith for 40 years of his life, raises a family apart from the faith, has a non-Christian wife, is worldly famous for the 1800s, and then in his final years of life, he kind of wakes up. He's like, why did I need God? What did I squander my life on? And I use that story often is a picture of how God holds on to his people. But if you're God's, it's not you who need to hold on to him. He's not going to let you slip.
Oh, here's my friend Amber. Oh, I have like a crumpled paper in my hand. Yes. Hi, Gabby, again. Hi, friends. I'm back after a very long day. Basically, I'm part of the Christian fellowship group on campus, and it's been a really sweet community, just learning more about God's character together. And just haven't really been able to go to the actual meetings because of my classes. So I just decided to take the opportunity today to get some food and hop in there. And so I, got to see a couple of friends, and all of them are so sweet, and I love them dearly. I have a few other friends in other classes too. I ran into my friend Rachel in the hall today, who's in my drawing class, and she's so sweet. I love her. Just throughout the rest of the day, I noticed, like, in art history, I feel like, there's just a lot of confusion, and people are confused, and they don't really know what the meaning of life is. And it's true. Just my teacher, he was talking a lot about, he was talking about Dada art, and he was talking about how it's basically just like philosophy of just a life of meaninglessness and just kind of empty purpose, and just kind of laughing about it. And I was like, wow, very much contradictory to the things that I've been reading and studying God's word, that he has a purpose for everything, and he is sovereign, and he is good, and he created us. It's just kind of the realities that I face during my school day. We talked about that tonight at the leadership group. We talked about just like people being hurt by the church, or sometimes just not wanting to give up desires. So yeah, just little recap from my day, and just some of the things I was just observing and noticing, to keep it short and sweet. So yeah, I hope that you all have a great evening. The first thing I like to do when I get home from a long day is turn on all the ambient lights in my room to create a cozy atmosphere. Then I'll have my PJs, and if I'm taking a shower, I'll use this Shea Moisture Strengthen and Restore leave-in conditioner, and then I'll also use a night serum from Good Molecules and this smooth eye cream that I use overnight. Then I'll make myself some tea sometimes. This is me, with my shaky hand lighting my little fall candle. Another thing that I like to do is wind down with a good book. This is Expired Vows by Conaway, which is a very dear friend of mine. So exciting that my friend is an author. It's a romantic suspense novel, and I've been loving it so far. I will have the Amazon link in the description if you want to go check it out and support my friend.